Hello students, this side Meena. Hope you are all doing good. So today we will start with the next learning that is known as observational learning. This learning take place when we try to observe the another person. This observation is also known as a imitation. This learning is given by Bandura. He said that when we are living in a society and we try to learn the behavior of the individuals, so this type of behavior that we have learned in a society that are known as a social behavior, and the learning related to this is known as a social learning. When we try to when we try to copy the behavior of the another persons, this is known as a modeling. The examples of observational learning we can see in our life also, like when we observe the things, when we are looking at the TV or when we are looking at any type of advertisements, whether it is related with the fashion sense or whether it is related with the actress or actress's behavior. So these type of behavior that we are observing, we try to emulate them in our own behavior. In order to understand this learning in a very deep sense, the Bandura has conducted one study. In this, what happened? Bandura showed a film of 5 minutes to the children. It has 3 versions. In this, what is there? There is a one large room in which so many toys are there, and a big doll was there that is known as a Boobo doll. In the first version of the video, what was happening, that the one boy showed the very aggressive behavior towards the another toys, but particularly in matter of a Boobo doll, he kicked the doll, he throw the Boobo doll on the floor and sit on it also. So what happened in the next phase, when one person has seen this type of behavior of the boy, the boy was praised and boy was awarded with that. In version, the group of children also see the boy, that the boy was getting punishment for showing that type of aggressive behavior. In the third group, no treatment was given to the boy, any type of reward or not the punishment. So after looking at it, when the children were placed in the same experimental room and there were the similar type of toys, those children who have seen the aggressive behavior of the boy is rewarded, so they also show the aggressive behavior towards the toys. On the other hand, the another children who saw that the behavior was not rewarded, instead of that the boy got the punishment, so they didn't show any type of aggressive behavior. So in this we can say that observational learning is what, in which we are acquiring the knowledge. How we are acquiring the knowledge? By observing the model's behavior. To which type of behavior we are observing, that is a model behavior for us. So in the same way, you have noticed that even in our families, our younger one always try to observe or try to imitate the behavior of the elder one. About the observational learning, our next learning is known as a cognitive learning. Cognitive learning is related with the logic, it is related with the thinking process, it is not related with any type of reinforcement or any type of trial and error that we have done earlier in the matter of classical conditioning and the operant conditioning. In this, what we are doing, in this the learner knows rather than what he does. It means that he is using his insight, and it also involves the latent learning. So now let's discuss in detail. In the insight learning, this learning is given by Kohler. He also show one type of learning when he does the experiment, when he has conducted the experiment on the chimpanzees. What he has done, chimpanzee will only get the food if he will able to clear all the problems. So what happened in this, the Kohler placed the chimpanzee in a very enclosed play area where the food was kept, but the food was out of the reach of the chimpanzee. There were some tools like poles and boxes were there, so that the chimpanzee can try to approach the food. What the chimpanzee has done in this, during the process, chimpanzee learned that he can use the box to stand on, and after that he used the pole to remove the food in the same direction in which he was standing. So in the experiment, learning was not take place because of some type of trial and error or any type of reinforcement, but it comes only because of the insight. This insight is not the general insight, this insight that comes in the mind of the chimpanzee, that was an insight. So this is known as a insight learning. There is a one rule of this insight learning: the solution that appear, it is always a sudden solution. So in the insight learning, sudden solution is the rule. One time when we are able to go to the solution of the problem, then we can use that solution in the future also when we face the same type of problem. So this is all about the insight learning. Our next one is the latent learning. Latent learning is given by Tolman. In this, he said that if we are able to learn any one new behavior, we will not show that behavior until we are not going to get any type of reinforcement. So to show this, the Tolman has done the experiment on the rat. What he has done, he placed the rat into the two groups. In the one group, the rat was rewarded. The reward was in the form of a food, that if they will make their way in the maze at the end, then they will get the food. But on the other hand, in the second group, what was done here, there was no reward in the form of food. So the rats did not make any way through the maze. But then said that the second group rat, if they are not showing their way through the maze, it doesn't mean that they don't know that how to move. They are not showing only because the no reinforcement is given to them. In the second thing that is told in this theory, that the rats are using the cognitive map. Cognitive map mean to say these are the mental representation about the locations and the directions. Like the rats are having the cognitive map, that how to move in the maze and how to enter and how to make their way out. In the same way, like you may have experienced that we know that what is the way, what is the direction from our school to home and from home to school. This is what, that we know the direction, we know the location. This is known as a cognitive map. So this is all about our cognitive learning. Our
next learning is the verbal learning. This learning, as the name suggests of this learning, that it is related with the words and it is related with the verbalness. So this learning is only limited with the human beings. In this, we are acquiring the knowledge and we are observing the knowledge about the objects, about the events, and what type of features that they are having. We are using it in the terms of words. Verbal learning is having a use of variety of the words. Like there are three types of the words. First one is the nonsense syllabus. It means that it has the two consonants and the one vowel. And after that, the familiar words, to which type of words we are very familiar, like we use them in our daily life also. Unfamiliar words mean to say that are not familiar with us. We can see this also in the list. Like you can see in this list, the nonsense syllables are there. Like first is the consonant, after that the vowel is there, after again the consonant. So each word is like this. These are comes under the category of the nonsense syllables. After that, the unfamiliar words like the word scoff, plump, and the familiar words are there, like the boat, load, goal. So these words are there that we use in our daily life. In this, now we are move with the topic, that is the methods that we use in studying the verbal learning. This our first one method is the paired associative learning. Pair associated learning mean to say, if we will learn one word, then the second one will automatically be come in our mind. So this type of connection that we are creating here with the words in the terms of pair association, it also make us reminder of the SS conditioning and SR learning. It means that if we are learning the first word in the pair, it will work as a stimulus, and the other word that we are speaking, that will work as a response. Like if I say one word, hungry, another word will come into your mind as a response, that will be the food. The another stimulus that I am giving you, that is the thirsty, that what are the response will come from your side, obviously the water. So these are the response that are making here in the conditioning, that is SS and the SR learning. The first members of the pair that I already told you in nonsense syllables are consonant, vowel and consonant, and in the second one are the English nouns that we are giving as a response term. in this learner has to do, he was instructed that he has to remember the words in a pair, like that it will work as a stimulus response. The instruction that is given to the learner that he has to recall the response whenever the stimulus is presented, like if the stimulus is presented like JIT, so the word response as will come as a line. It should be done until the learner will not learn all the words and there should be all the correct responses. If there is any error in any stimulus response, then the response should be tell to the respondent or the participant, so that next time there should be no mistake. So for this we can take so many trial. Our next learning is the serial learning. In this, as the name suggests, that it is related with the serial, like we learn the alphabets in a serial A B C D. In the same way, the list that is given to the learner, it should be in a serial wise. Like first list of verbal items is a nonsense syllables, after that the most familiar, and then the least familiar, in related words, etc. If the list is prepared like this, the participant is presented with the entire list, and in the same serial order the participant has to learn and presented the list on his part. In this procedure, in the first trial, the first item of the list is shown to the participant, and the participant has to given the second response. If in the same way as earlier we were doing, that if he or she was failed to do so, some time is given to them so that they can take the time to think, and after that the second item will be presented to them. Suppose the participant was unable to give the third item also, that he was not able to recall that what was the third word. We are doing here, we are using the third item or third word as a stimulus. On the basis of this third word stimulus, the participant has to give the correct item that is going to be in the fourth one. So if again he will fail to do so, the fourth will also tell to them, and it will work as a stimulus, and fifth answer and the fifth word that will be come from the learner, it will become the response. So this is known as a serial anticipation method, in which there is also a connection of stimulus and the response, but in a serial. Our next is the free recall. The name of this method also tell us that in this the participant can use the free recall of the words. Free recall mean to say, earlier the participant has to learn the words in a serial order, but in this they can read and they can speak out any words that is given in the list. So in this one condition is there, that fixed time rate exposure will be there. At a fixed time the list will be shown to them. Learner has to recall the words not in a serial order, in any order, because it is our free recall. Should be remember that in the list there should be more than 10 words. Why we are using this method? By this method we want to understand that how the participant will organize this word in his storage memory. We can conclude from this method that the items that are placed in the beginning or the items that are placed in the end of the list, they are very easy to understand rather the items that are placed in the middle. So this is all about our verbal learning. In our next video we will talk about the another concepts. Till the time, try to understand this very carefully. Thank you.